So we have a new New York Times SurveyMonkey poll on the issue of taxes and economics, and this is some fascinating stuff. So it says, taxing the rich is popular in theory. Most Americans think the government should try to reduce inequality. Specific policies, however, aren't always as popular. So let's go through it. Should the government pursue policies to reduce the wealth gap? 62% of Americans say yes. Only 34% say no. Democrats, 87% say yes. Only 11% say no. Independents, 70% say yes. So independents, overwhelmingly left-leaning, only 27% say no. Republicans, 35, is that 35 or 38? The print is hard to read on my page here. Well, 59% say no. Overall, when it comes to, I love this one. This is Elizabeth Warren's idea. Do you support a 2% tax on wealth above $50 million? 61% of Americans say yes, 35% say no. Democrats, 75% say yes, 22% say no. Independents, 57% say yes, 39% say no. And my favorite fact, a majority of Republicans, 51% of Republicans, say they support a 2% wealth tax above $50 million. Only 46% say no. So even among Republicans, certain types of higher taxes on the rich, they like. And then finally, we go to AOC's idea, 70% marginal tax on income above $10 million per year. According to this poll, 51% supports it overall, 45% disapprove, 75% of Democrats support it, 23% disapprove. Independents, 51% support it, 46% disapprove. Republicans, only 31% support it, 67% disapprove. Now, I do have to add the caveat on this point that according to the last poll on this issue, it was 59% of Americans that supported a 70% top marginal tax rate on income above $10 million a year. So this one's 51%, but the previous one was 59%. So, take that for what it's worth. But bottom line is, and this is only 3 examples, but raising taxes on the rich, guys, has always been popular. Now, again, the specifics, it varies. So it depends the exact kind of tax and how you phrase it in your question when you're asking the poll question. So there's a lot of stuff that are details that are relevant here. But broadly speaking, yes, raising taxes on the rich is popular. And I think it's popular because people see the absurd levels of income and wealth inequality, and they think it's dumb. So when you see, the 6 Walton family babies, and they're nothing but part of the good sperm club, they're all moocher babies who got everything handed down to them, and they collectively have more wealth than the bottom 45% of Americans combined. That's stupid. And people go, I don't like that. Did you know 60% of wealth in this country is inherited? So that fact alone blows up the myth of meritocracy. So our goal should be to try to get closer to an actual meritocracy where you give people equal opportunity. And in order to get to a meritocracy, what we have to do is redistribute and tax the rich more. Now, that doesn't mean that we're against people getting rich. Of course, we're fine with people getting rich. The question is, to what extent, to what level? Should Jeff Bezos have $150 billion at the same time that 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and 50% of workers are making $30,000 a year or less? And we have an infrastructure that gets a grade of D+, and we have up to 45,000 Americans dying because they don't have access to basic health care? No, that's dumb. That's stupid. So yeah, should you tax that guy? Yeah, you should tax that guy. For sure. And he's going to be all right. He's still going to be able to afford 97 yachts, just maybe not 146 yachts. So, and even that, let's be real, he'll probably be able to afford. So, yeah, there's a reasonable discussion to be had. What are our limits here? What makes sense? What doesn't make sense? Where do we draw the line? What tax rate, percent? What kind of taxes? Why should we have it? So, like we have right now, capital gains taxes are way lower than income taxes. Well, hold on, that makes no sense. Then you have a guy like Mitt Romney who made $15 million a year sitting on his ass, and he only got taxed at about 15%. Why should he get taxed at 15%? He didn't even work for his $15 million he just made. But somebody who's a construction worker or a secretary or a teacher or any of a number of jobs, let's say they make $80,000 a year, they pay 30% in taxes? They pay more than fucking Mitt Romney? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. So people inherently get that, and they're willing to look at changes that include taxing the rich more. So the politicians should do that, but of course they're corrupt and not many of them will support it. They should, but not many will. But that's why we have Bernie Sanders. That's why we have Justice Democrats. And that's why we're going to keep fighting on this front, because the people are with us.